So while I would have rather won the game, I'm happy that I'm leaving the game with a record at the very least. Brittany did say while people were voting, she said, I expected that from anyone but you, and I felt horrible hearing her say that. But ultimately, this was my dream to be in the game. I would have regretted it if I didn't try everything I could to stay. I'm not a hugger. I did not want to do the fake, oh, let's all hug, it's okay, on my way out the door. And I wanted a bit of a dramatic exit. I have a flair for the dramatic, what can I say? So that's why I left without saying anything. I wanted to leave them like, oh, I have something to tell you guys, and then just walk out. So that was just for me. It was kind of fun. I don't necessarily regret winning those competitions. I think early in the game when you find yourself on the block, you're in a position where you have to win. And then by the time I felt like I didn't have to win, I'd already racked up 5 competition wins. So I don't necessarily regret winning those, but I do think I didn't manage my threat level as well as I should have. I would have rather gone out of the game for winning too much than having thrown a competition and then gone home anyway. So while I would have rather won the game, I'm happy that I'm leaving the game with a record at the very least. I would make the same decision. I didn't want the moral of the story here to be that if you do the right thing, that you are immediately punished for it. I think that standing up for what's right doesn't have to come at a cost. And I think we have that idea that if you do the right thing, that means you're hurting yourself. I didn't want that to be the case. So I would do it over again. And ultimately, I think even if I had gotten Turner out of the game last week, I'd still be sitting here because it would have been Monty who had won those competitions during the double, and the result would have been the same. So I don't necessarily regret that, even though on paper, it looks like it was the wrong move. Hearing feedback from everyone who is still in the house about how they wish the information had been handled, I do regret not saying something sooner. I feel that no matter when the information came into the game, it was always going to look like it was being used to benefit me and to get me further. Any information that comes into the game, regardless of what it is, people are always going to assume there's a self-serving interest there. So I understand why people were skeptical about the timing. I ultimately tried to do what I felt was right. I knew that I wanted to speak up. I would have regretted it if I had left the game and said nothing. So I don't regret speaking up. I do wish it had been handled differently, though. With peace and love, I love everyone still in the house. I think that Monty is probably playing the best game. I think that he's done really well in managing his threat level, which I did not do. And I think he'll have a lot of respect from the jury if he can make it to the final 2. I also think that Taylor's playing a great game, but I'd probably give it to Monty at this point. As far as the worst game, you don't make the final 5 by accident. I would not say anyone's playing a bad game. I do think that Brittany will have the hardest time winning should she make it to the final 2. I think people have viewed her game kind of as that she had latched onto me. And I know that she was being strategic behind the scenes, but I think she's going to have a really hard time if she makes it to the final 2 unless she can pick it up here and get some comp wins and make some things happen on her own. I think she's going to have a hard time in front of the jury.